What's going on, guys? Magdallan here. Monday morning. They haven't made any additional changes to the Arch Nemesis mods yet, so we're still waiting to see what's going to happen with that. But I wanted to make an update video and share some of my progress with the character, how I'm dealing with the Arch Nemesis mods, talk a little bit about the Sentinel League itself, so on and so forth. So if that stuff interests you, stick around. Okay, so it turns out I'm actually really enjoying the Sentinel League. The red Sentinels are pretty fun. I just pop them at the beginning of the map, and it seems like the rewards are pretty decent. I haven't gotten really deep into the tree itself yet. I've just kind of been grabbing the stuff that looks good. Grab these. All of these are pretty good. I found that particularly this node made it so that I noticed immediately, like, yeah, I'm getting more currency when I'm using this Sentinel. And I just recently added the blue one, and I'm not yet sure if I enjoyed that one or not. I know that people are saying to use it at on strong boxes, but I don't really do a lot of those, and so I've been kind of using them to empower harbingers and the mobs that appear around shrines. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good mechanic, and given that I haven't done any of the, combining of the husks of the used up Sentinels, and nor have I really experimented with the item combination thing that exists, and so it seems like there's going to be some real depth here that we can explore, probably some really crazy rewards. I'm still interested to see how the red Sentinels interact with sort of juicy endgame delirium, etc. I think that's going to be pretty cool. In terms of the Atlas passive tree, as you can see, we're not progressing super fast. I'm not in a huge rush this week, particularly since they're doing these nerfs. It seems like, why be in a rush when they're probably going to be changing stuff and making it more approachable? So we rushed and grabbed all the Harbinger nodes, as I like to do, Flash Breach, and then Shrines. Grabbed this as well, since I'm not really using fragments or anything yet. I'm just now moving up and grabbing some of this map stuff here, Shrine nodes here, and some map nodes. And then in terms of blocking, we are blocking Ritual, Light, Expedition, and Abyss. These two are not, I'm not blocking them because it makes me more money or anything. I just don't like those mechanics. These two, I never do them, whether they're good or not. And so it seemed like these were the four that made the most sense for me to block. Obviously, that might be different for you based on what you think is fun. Now, in terms of the character itself, I am running 5 flasks, utility flasks, no life flask. We just switched that out in favor of the Ruby Flask. These are still just the crap that I had when I was leveling, still having to actually manually push them. I went this time for gear that is primarily just straight up life and life regeneration. I did that with the helmet, the gloves, the boots. On the belt, I crafted Flask Effect, because again, our flasks are still not even quality, so on and so forth, so the extra duration is great. We did pick up the Rise of the Phoenix Shield, not even a good roll. Crap Amulet, crap rings, grabbed a Death's Rush for 3C, I think I paid for it. A day and a half ago or whatever. Really good starting ring. Self-crafted crappy Scepter. And the build is working just fine. Let's cruise into a map. So I'm just going to start. I'm not going to use the Sentinel because this is towards the about 10 to 13 is about where I'm at in terms of progression, and I'm saying that I don't have a red Sentinel loaded up. I'll have to do that later. As you can see, we're starting to come online in terms of the tankiness, but it's still a little bit dicey. I've got Enduring Cry as well as Infernal Cry. And a thing that I've seen a lot of people talking about is how do you deal with the mana siphon mobs? And I have a pretty easy solution to that. I just don't use mana. I have Life Tap socketed in several places. because I did not want to deal with that as a mechanic. I've got Flame Wall going, as well as Fire Trap, and Manual Curse. And so when we need that extra damage, we just throw down the Flame Wall, throw down some traps, curse everything, and typically that is enough to get the damage to where it feels passable. That's probably the biggest tip I can give you is don't hesitate to add more life path into your build at this stage. We can always take that stuff out later when we get more mana, when we get more reservation efficiency, when we have better gear. I think a big problem with RF is that people view it as being a more complicated build, and so people are more likely to watch a guide video or whatever and then try to sort of copy the exact progression of that character, and the build really rewards you for doing on-the-fly problem solving. So I noticed the market is kind of weird with getting, for example, the Aziri's Foible necklace, so on and so forth. And so I just built way heavier into raw life regeneration on the gear than I would have in previous scenarios. For me, that boss damage is just fine. I don't care if it takes an extra few seconds to kill the boss. This is a league where I think it makes a lot of sense for us to build a little bit tankier. And as you can see, that was fairly decent in terms of I'm not just getting one-shotted. Rares are not particularly gruesome in terms of the damage output. A couple little spots where it got a little dicey, but other than that, it seems to be running smooth. I have taken the character as high as tier 14, and that was just fine. And so I am anticipating that, given the state of the market and my rate of progression as compared to last league, I'm guessing it's going to be another probably 3 days before I'm going to be able to start grabbing some of what I would consider to be the, let's call it, low level investment but still end game type gear. And then I'll come back with an update video at that time and share how the build's running when I'm actually farming the tier 16s. But if you're kind of struggling a little bit, trying to level up a Righteous Fire Inquisitor, or if you're just hitting maps and feeling like the mana thing's an issue, slap in some life tap. Don't be afraid to mess around with your gem links. As you can see, I still have even just an open slot. Often in the past, I will just throw a portal gem in there for, just quality of life. And so the version of the build that I am running is very forgiving in terms of allowing you to customize it, throw in different skills, test stuff. Don't forget about your arch nemesis, or pardon me, your Eldritch implicits on your gear. I haven't been able to roll mine exactly as I would like them, but that's another way that you can get some really interesting effects. You can get max fire res on the chest piece, don't forget about that. So if you're having trouble with that, or you feel like you're still taking too much fire damage, feel free to go into a little bit extra res on the chest piece. Other than that, I will cut it short for now. I'm having a pretty decent time. I think the nerfs they did were mostly effective. I suspicion they will continue to make changes. Looking at the Steam charts, it looks kind of like a scary roller coaster in terms of active player count, but the last I looked, it did look like it's trending back upward. So hopefully most of the people that got mad and quit after the first day have heard that the stuff is now only mildly annoying, I would say, as compared to the train wreck that it was the first day. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video. If you're enjoying the content, please do hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time. I appreciate you.